this is the first session of the Preseen Analysis, and I will be unveiling so many things you need to know. And also note that this class would actually guide you on every necessary things you need to know. You get that? So it's quite important you take note of what we'll be talking, what we'll be discussing in this class. A lot of situations about my students are also using so many other materials, but just ensure that you don't overload yourself, because there is one thing with information overload. At some point you would get confused. Yeah, I'm just telling you that. So pay attention. Don't worry, I got you covered. Every necessary information you'll be needing would surely be provided. And note that this diet ICAN has served into my hands. That is, I have every necessary information, for you to pass this exam. Yes, yeah, I can serve into my hands like this. So, and I'll be giving you two live and direct. So, welcome everyone. I remain my humble self, Ahmed Suluka, and I will be the anchor for tonight's case study live class, then the first session. So, in tonight's class, we shall be doing the following. And note that this case study live class will be holding this Sunday and next Sunday. This is the first session, right? So we shall be having the second session next Sunday, and this Sunday, by special grace of God, we shall be discussing the Preseen Analysis. That is, please mind my choice of words too. That is all of us, will be doing a detailed Preseen Analysis. That is, we'll be dissecting your Preseen together. Secondly is breakdown of the predicted requirement. I know some of you might have seen it, some might have not seen it. No worries, I would send it to you. I have done a predicted requirement of what I think your examiner would bring out in your on-scene. You get that? And that is what we will be working with in this case study Preseen Analysis class. I would walk you through the drafting of the cover page, the introduction, and if time permits, we will do financial statement analysis. Now, let's get started. One thing I want to bring your attention to, there are situations where you read it, but there's still this thing we read in something. That is, this is your Preseen Analysis. You don't just read it as if you are reading newspaper. You get. So you read it like an investigator. That is, you are looking for something. You get. So you don't read it like, okay, bro, okay, I've read it, okay, this is what they're saying here. No, you don't read it like that. You read it to look for issues, to look for what and what can be wrong, or what and what are right. So that is one thing I want you to take note of. But don't worry that you read it like you're reading newspaper, or you've gotten some points already. I got it covered, because I would be walking you through everything from the beginning. So the Preseen is a 15 pages document, and as seen, we have the list of the exhibits. So, but before then, I can stated how the marks are being awarded. So it's also very important to take note of this. As you can see, drawing, conclusion, and recommendations carry what? 20 marks. 20% of 100 marks is what? 20 marks. Appendices carries what? 10 marks. Then ethics, 10 marks. Executive summary, 20 marks. Now you know how the marks are being awarded. You get. And for those of you that you've done it before, now you know why ICAN is giving you, all those ridiculous marks like 10 times. You can see 9, 100. Yeah, but don't worry, I got you covered. What I would just need you to do is pay attention, and if you have any question, make sure you ask. You get that? So, and of course, it's going to be an interactive class. You get, but ensure that your background is not noisy. That's it. So we have the list of the exhibits. Exhibit 1 is about you. And first of all, the case study is on Kudi Microfinance Bank Limited. So let me clear some misconceptions we might be having. So this Kudi Microfinance Bank Limited, of course, with just ordinary logic, we would say it is Kuda. So we already have Kuda Microfinance. So okay, we can say is it Kuda, but here is it. Though ICAN is trying to confuse you here, you get to thinking that they used Kuda. Okay, I mean the case study is not actually on Kuda. You get. So the name of the company which ICAN adopted their information, Austria Polaris Microfinance Bank. Let me show you their website. So, and I'll show you why I said it is Austria. You get that? So, first of all, note that this is the bank, Austria Polaris Microfinance Bank Nigeria Limited. This is the bank that ICAN adopted their information. Right, and as you can see, is in what? Safari Junction, Onikolobo, Abeokuta, Ogun State. You would see, I will relate it to the Preseen. Just watch. Let's go ahead. So now, we have the list of the exhibits. About you, Abdurrahman Ismaila, as your name. And in no situation, so far it's pertaining to the exam, should you change this name, your name. Then second exhibit is overview of microfinance sector of the bank industry in Nigeria. So that too, I'll tell you where it was being copied. We are coming to that. It's copied. Category, the third exhibit, categories of microfinance banks according to CBN guidelines for microfinance banks. All right, so that's too, it was being copied, and I'll show you where it was being copied. Then next, Kudi Microfinance Bank Limited, about us. So I'll show you the relation of this about us with the microfinance bank I showed you earlier. Just watch out. Then the next is the extract of the financial statement for the year 2020, including previous year figures. That's the financial statement. Then the last one is the CBN circular to all microfinance banks. That also was copied. Now I'll show you where it was copied. Now the exhibit 1. About you. What was your name again?
Abdurrahman Ismail.
I was thinking someone would mention his personal name. I was like, I just said it now. So your name, as far as ICAN case study is concerned, is Abdurrahman Ismaila. And you are writing the professional level of ICAN examination. Of course, you are actually writing it. So you are employed as a training consultant. So either you are the HOD of your department, or maybe you are the CEO or whatever. This is your position as far as ICAN case study is concerned. You are a training consultant at Exa Links Consulting Associate. So Exa Links Consulting Associate is your company. And here you are reporting to Dr. Munir Oyemilokun. So yeah, this is your line manager that you are reporting to. And this person is the partner in charge of business advisory services of your firm. That is of Exa Links Consulting. Then one of your clients, which is Kudi Microfinance Bank, KMB Limited, a state-owned microfinance bank. So the name of the client is this. Let's highlight it. A state-owned microfinance bank. And this microfinance bank is under direct supervision of other financial institutions, supervision departments of the CBN. KMB Limited customers deposits are insured by Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation. So this is a thing to note. Deposits are insured. You get, so which means for you to make KMB your bank, you are not on the wrong. I mean, you are not making the wrong decision. You get, you are making the right decision because your deposits are insured. So either if the bank should close, should wind up, you still get your money. The bank has its head office in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. You know that you are told that this bank is a state microfinance bank. So the head office is in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, and has 15 branches, local government areas of the state. So now, of course, having the head office in Abeokuta, okay, is the point. But having 15 branches, there is a clause to that, and I will show you. So let's highlight it. So it has 15 branches. You get, it's a big clause. You get, because there is a limitation to the number of branches that this microfinance bank can operate. So we are coming to that. So that's why I said that if you are reading, you read investigatively. You get, so you don't read it in a newspaper manner. But either ways, I got you covered. Now let's move on. Since your engagement in HCA, that is, please let's meet our mic. Since your engagement in HCA, that is Exile Links Consulting Associates, your responsibilities includes the following. 1. You are saddled with the responsibility to review the financial statement, including audited and management accounts of clients, or to identify trends and key issues in order to make informed decisions about their businesses. Providing clear evaluation of the client based on analysis of both opportunities and threats, and impact on both profitability and stability of the organization. That's point 2. Then number 3, assessing operational and strategic business proposals to see how each aligns with the client's objectives. Now, assessing operational and strategic business proposals to see how each aligns with the client's objective and their impact on HCA's business and financial risk. That's the 3rd responsibility. Then 4th responsibility, analysis of your client's financial statement to identify areas of weakness and providing likely solutions to correct the anomalies. That is, you are also to identify areas of weakness. With this, that is using SWOT analysis. Oh my God! So that's using SWOT analysis, right? So using SWOT analysis, you'll be able to identify areas of weakness, and you'll be able to recommend what the company should do to overcome those weaknesses. So the last is drafting reports for your partner's perusal and approving before sending them to your client. So this is the end result of all the responsibilities. And this is also what your examiner wants you to do. You should draft a report that will contain all your analysis. This is Exhibit 2, and this Exhibit 2 is titled Overview of Microfinance Sector in the Banking Industry. So I make a promise that I'll show you where it's been listed, right? So now come, let's check it together. It's from Investopedia. As you can see, microfinance is also called microcredit. It's a type of banking service provided to low-income earners or groups who otherwise would have no access to formal financial service. So, can you read this too? Microfinance is also called microcredit. It's a type of this. Check like that. This document contains what we have in your Exhibit 2. So it contains everything. It's just to enable us know where I can actually choose, just to enable us know that I can is copy. I pick from here and everywhere. But don't worry, I got it covered. That's what they are doing, would help us to pass actually, because I'll be revealing those things to you, right? And those things will give you what? So they are explained to us that this microfinance is also called microcredit. So that is introducing you to microfinance. You get the microfinance sector actually. So majorly it's meant for what? Low income earners. That is majorly those in the rural areas. You get that? And also institutions or banks participating in the microfinance most often provide lending in form of microloans. Other banks offer additional service such as current and savings account, as well as microfinance, as well as microinsurance products. Told that other banks offer additional services such as current and savings account, as well as microinsurance products. Some even provide financial and business education. The goal of the microfinance is to ultimately give indigent people an opportunity to be self-sufficient. Microfinance services are provided to low-income individuals who have limited financial resources or do not have enough income to do business with traditional financial institutions. So emphasis on low-income individuals that have limited financial resources. Why like that? Despite being excluded from banking services, some of those who live on as little as 2,000 naira a day do attempt to save, borrow, acquire credit or insurance, and they also make payments on their debts. So I think it's theirs. It is here in dollars anyways. I can now converted it. Despite being excluded from banking services, however, those who live on as low as $2 a day, you can see that. So they converted it at the rate of 1,000. So thus, poor individuals typically look to family, friends, and even more lenders, and even money lenders, who often charge exorbitant interest rates for help. So that is just giving us overview of the microfinance sector. So microfinance allows people to take reasonable small business loans safely and in a manner that is consistent with ethical lending practices. Although microfinance exists all over the world, majority of microfinancing operations occur in developing nations such as Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal. Many microfinance institutions focus on helping women in particular. That is all those traders, all those women, those realloggers. So in Nigeria, a large percentage of the population is still excluded from financial services. In 2020, a study reviewed marginal increase in the percentage of those served by formal financial markets from 35% in 2005 to 36.3%. So they're just giving us the statistics of those that benefited from the formal financial market. You get that? That is the impact of the microfinance policy on the patronage of people as regards the financial market generally. So now let's move on. Against the backdrop of concerns expressed by stakeholders and need to enhance financial services delivery, the CBN issued a microfinancing portions and supervising framework in 2005. So this framework would really help, and yeah, it's here already. Here we have the regulatory and supervisory guidelines. We will be using it too. You get that? It's here already. So it was revised in April 2011. It was revised in April 2011 and improved upon. That is, it was amended in January 2020 with the issuance of the guidelines for regulation and supervision of microfinance banks in Nigeria by the CBN. So that's just an overview. You get that? Them it's just like the examiner trying to introduce you to the microfinance sector. Let's move to the next, Exhibit 3. So this talks about the classification of microfinance banks in according to CBN guidelines for microfinance bank. So this actually is being lifted live and direct from the guidelines, and let me show you. So here's it. It states that there are 4 categories of microfinance banks in Nigeria: the Tier 1 unit MFB, the Tier 2 unit MFB, the State Microfinance Bank, the National Microfinance. So the National Microfinance Bank. So basically, the idea of this is that this actually ICAN wants you to study these CBN guidelines very well, because this would actually help you with the Preseen analysis, and it will help you in drafting your solution too, bigger to the case, because this is on banking sector and you are expected to have a well-grounded knowledge of how the banking sector works, especially microfinance. You get that? The corporate governance, the risk, and so many other things that are associated with the microfinance. And I mean, luckily for us, these are included in the guidelines that is issued by CBN. So I could remember sending this particular document to the group. So it's there. MFB regulation draft matched. So I can forward it again for those that may not be able to find it or can't find it. Right. Basically, in what we read earlier, we're told that Kudi Microfinance Bank is a state microfinance bank. So the information that we would be mostly concerned with is this state microfinance bank, right? So we're told that this state microfinance bank is authorized to operate in a state microfinance bank is authorized to operate in one state or the FCT, and it is allowed to open branches within the same state or FCT, subject to prior written approval of CBN for each new branch or cash center. It shall not be permitted to open more than 2 branches in the same local government area. So now there are 2 things you would have to look out for. Is it operating in one state? That's the first thing. That is Kudi Microfinance Bank operating in one state? And secondly is that, is it operating more than 2 branches in same local government? Now let's check it. The information is here. So they told us that Kudi Microfinance Bank is a leading microfinance bank in Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria. So that it is operating in Ogun State. You get that? So which means it's operating within one state. That is noted. Then secondly is that is it operating more than two branches in one local government? Now here is it. I told that the head office of the bank is located in Bank Road, Okelowo, Ibara, Abeokuta, Ogun State, with branches in 15 local government areas out of the 20. So there's a violation with this 15, right? But what we are looking at is it operating more than two branches in one local government? The answer is no, because it has branches in what? 15 local government areas. So that has been settled. Then we told that a newly licensed state microfinance bank shall not operate operations with more than 10 branches. So here comes the first. So here comes the first another violation that we would identify, right? So the guidelines, CBN guidelines state that a state microfinance bank shall not be allowed to operate in more than 10 branches. But here is Kudi Microfinance Bank. It is operating in 15 local governments, 15 local government areas out of 20. So there's a violation. You get that? Which you have to identify. Now, let's go ahead. So the next is what? The National Microfinance Bank. Though we don't need
Good evening, Mr. Ahmed.
Yeah, good evening. I'm with you.
Please, that clause says a newly licensed microfinance bank. Is Kudi a newly licensed microfinance bank? Please, I want you to clarify that.
Okay. Thanks for chipping that in. And I'm about to also mention that. So, in this information, Exhibit 4, I will jump here to address that. I thought that the bank was licensed by CBN in 1991 as a community bank, a unit microfinance bank under the CBN revised policy of 2005 for the subsector. And the bank was later upgraded by CBN from unit microfinance bank in year 2020 after partly meeting the minimum capital requirement for state microfinance bank. That is, it's newly upgraded, which means it was recently granted license in 2020. So this makes it a newly licensed state microfinance bank. So now it's not corporate governance, because corporate governance has to do with composition of directors, the number of directors, qualification of directors, and so on and so forth. That is majorly the board, but it is not. What is happening here is it poses a regulatory risk, legal and regulatory. So because if CBN is aware of this, right, then CBN would of course sanction Kudi Microfinance Bank. Kudi Microfinance Bank would be exposed to sanctions. They didn't comply. Okay. So which created which poses a legal and regulatory risk. Let's go ahead. So now, yes, it's about us. So, and you can see too, Kudi Microfinance Bank, about us. Do you get that? So that's why Kudi Microfinance Bank is a leading microfinance bank in Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria, with excellent service culture, hinged on working with each customer to create a name and be a reference point in grassroots banking. Now let's read this one too together. Astra Polaris Microfinance Bank is a leading microfinance bank in Ogun State. So the name Astra Polaris was changed to Kudi Microfinance. Now, in Ogun State, Southwest Nigeria, with an excellent service culture hinged on working with each customer to create a name. I know you must be wild by now. So here is it. the reason why, no, this will really help us a lot. This ultra polarized information. Of course, I've gotten the annual report already. You get. So I got it covered. Don't worry. We would be working on the annual report. So it will really help us with our analysis.